The divisional ball keeps on rolling, and so does this Bruins team. 7 straight wins and back at it against the Ottawa Senators. This game should be a tough competition. With both teams having taken one, neither side will want to give an inch. At least I hope. The question is, who will be in net for this matchup? And how will the Bruins fare against the new-look Montreal Canadiens team this weekend? This is a Bruins tape-to-tape snapshot.
The Boston Bruins played the Toronto Maple Leafs on Tuesday night, just 4 days after playing them in Toronto on Saturday and beating them by a score of 5-3. As you may recall, Anthony Stolarz was pulled in the game on Saturday night, and the Toronto Maple Leafs faced the same result on Tuesday night against the Bruins. Another 5-3 loss by the Leafs, a win by the Bruins. Anthony Stolarz was pulled yet again. Now, the game started with Toronto being extremely undisciplined in the first period and taking a good number of penalties, and the Bruins capitalized and took a 3-1 lead into the locker room at the end of the first period. I will say, however, that there was an egregious turnover on one of the power plays by Charlie McAvoy that led to a shorthanded goal by the Maple Leafs in that first period. And I would have loved to have Jeremy Swayman make a save on that goal. But be that as it may, the Bruins pretty much dominated the play again against the Maple Leafs for most of the game. The Maple Leafs showed a little bit of push in the third period where they did end up getting the score to 4-3. However, the game was not only a loss in the win-lose column, the Maple Leafs also lost their star, Austin Matthews, to a crushing hit from Nikita Zadorov. And it seems like Nikita Zadorov is on a mission to single-handedly let the league know that the Bruins are ready to play whatever game the opposing team wants to play. You want to play a physical game? We'll play a physical game. Just understand that we're coming at you. And I absolutely love that brand of hockey. And of course, David Pastrňák cemented his name further in the history books of the Boston Bruins franchise by scoring goals 400 and 401. And there was a lot of praise being levied at David Pastrňák across the league. I believe that Wayne Gretzky compared him to Guy Lafleur, and someone else whose name is escaping me compared Pasta to Alex Ovechkin. Either way, we are damn lucky to have a player of this caliber as a member of the Boston Bruins franchise for the foreseeable future. As I said, the Maple Leafs tried to make the game interesting in the third period, and I'm not quite sure what Ty Domi was thinking, trying to challenge or offering a fight with Nikita Zadorov, but good on Nikita Zadorov for not taking the bait. And that shows me that he is growing into a leadership role by leaps and bounds this season. So all in all, another crucial 2 points for the Boston Bruins as they get ready to once again face the Ottawa Senators on Thursday night.
All right, look, we've already talked about the Senators twice within the last 2 weeks. So let's skip that conversation for now. All you need to know is that Ullmark continues to struggle among starting goaltenders. The question here is, which goalie is going to be in net? After the Sens, it's on to the Habs, the Bruins' most hated of rivals of the 20th century, but less so in the 21st. Much of that has been attributed to the fact that the Habs have not had a competitive team in quite some time. But if you caught the last podcast, you will have heard that things are finally going the right way for this young franchise. Now, you may think for a moment, Caroline, why on earth are you sounding glad for the Habs? That flies in the face of tradition. Yes, but hear me out. There is nothing better than seeing a deeply rooted rivalry brought back to life. Look how exciting the Leafs game was. Look how amazing it's been and how it's felt when we beat them in overtime. Competitive rivals are what makes good hockey. And if this means hoping the Habs finally have a decent team that can sustain it for the next couple of years, then by all means. So, what's the deal with the Habs thus far? Well, Patrik Laine is still out for the Habs, and he has been since October 18th. But in terms of offensive power, it doesn't seem to matter. The Habs have been in the black for goal differentials all season, and they currently hold a +7, down from a recent season high of +11. Cole Caulfield, Oliver Kapanen, and Kirby Dach all continue to be snipers in all situations. Alex Newhook is particularly dangerous on the power play, and he has the team's second highest goals count with 6. Caulfield, no surprise, is first with 12. This is important because the Bruins continue to struggle with staying out of the penalty box. The Habs also have an interesting goalie situation going on. As of November 12th, Jakub Dobeš has played 7 games, while Sam Montembeault has played 9 games. Monty was seen as the future for this Canadiens team, but Dobeš is really giving him a run for his money. In 9 games, Monty has found himself second to last among all starting goalies who have played at least 7 games in goals saved above expected, meaning he is seriously underperforming. Now, indulge me a moment just so you can truly appreciate how bad of a season he's having. Goals saved above expected measures how many goals a goalie prevented compared to what an average goalie would have allowed, based on the quality of shots that they faced. Think of it this way. Every shot a goalie faces has an expected chance of going in. Some are higher and some are lower. Think backdoor one-timer versus weak wrister from the point. So what does this mean? 1, the goalie has struggled for a long stretch because the GSA-X accumulates over time. 2, the team's defense is not the culprit, since GSA-X already accounts for shot quality. It means the goalie is stopping fewer pucks than the average goalie should, given the same chances. And 3, if it's early in the season, it's still concerning. Even 10 to 15 games in, a -7 is pretty rough. Yes, you heard me right. Sam Montembeault currently holds a -7 GSA-X. Meanwhile, Dobeš is a +6.4 in his 7 games. Monty has had the start for the last 2 games, and if he's in net for their game against Dallas before they face the Bruins, expect a much better Dobeš in net. And if you like old-fashioned stats, he has a .920 save percentage and 2.25 goals against average. Bruins fans better hope it's Monty and not Dobeš in the net on Saturday. You know what? Head to the Substack this weekend to learn more about these goalie stats. It's fun over there. No snapshot after the Sens game, so we'll see you all after Saturday's game. Make sure you rate and review the podcast to help us reach more listeners, and tune in weekly to our full podcast available on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and all podcast platforms.